Okay, so here's a scam opener email that landed in my mailbox just recently. Pretty standard, really. There's supposedly an account belonging to a dead guy with no traceable relatives, and he has the same surname as me. The scammer knows this despite not actually knowing or mentioning my name. He wants to present me as the next of kin, and claims this is all legal and risk-free, which, if the story was true, would not be the case, because intestacy procedure is pretty clearly defined by law, and this ain't it. So today we're going to try something a little different. The inspiration comes from a viewer comment from someone called Marcel, who writes, "Try doing a speedrun scam bait. Before you even hear the entire lie as to why you're being given money, and before they even solicit anything from you, just ask them how much money do you need, PayPal or cashier's check." Okay, let's try that. So here we go, speedrun scam baiting. Before we get started, just a really quick note to say that the content I upload to this channel is quite varied. Don't be surprised if the video immediately following this one is quite, different. So, speedrun scam baiting, how will that be different? Let's take a quick look at the anatomy of a typical scam. Normally there's quite a bit of back and forth dialogue before the scammer starts asking for money. Today we're going to try to force the scammer's hand, cut the line, and jump straight to what the scammer normally considers the end game. The scammer says his name is Chris Walter. He's supposedly a London banker who is trying to fraudulently dispose of funds from an intestate account containing $4.9 million US. So I replied, "How much money do you want for the fee, and shall I pay via Bitcoin?" Chris still tried to go through his script and replied, "I think we can work things out. I have relevant documents to register your name. Email me if you're ready to claim and if you're not busy." I said, "Sure, documents, but I'm in a hurry. So please, how much is the fee and what's the payment method?" Chris said, "Thanks for your reply, but let's talk about what type of bank account you have to receive the money." I replied, "I just have the regular kind of bank account. Please, can we stop wasting time with questions? What's the fee amount and what payment methods do you accept?" Chris was still fumbling his way through his script, and he said, "We just need to transfer my client's fund to your account. We will need you to fill up some forms, then we can now send the money to you." I pushed onward and replied, "I don't have much time. Forms can wait. Please, how much is the fee and how do I pay? These are two simple questions. Please answer them." Seemingly almost reluctantly, Chris said, "We can just start for the first fee for $40 and then we can start it. Payment via Bitcoin. After you send, I will send a form and you will fill it up and send it back to me, and then wait 2 to 3 working days to receive it." I said, "Okay, $40, at last. Bitcoin wallet ID, please, quick as you can." Chris sent me his Bitcoin address, which we can examine for its transaction history, and we discover that it looks like he's run this scam before, as I found several amounts which are around about the $40 mark. He also asked for my Yahoo email address for some reason. I replied, "Yahoo does email? I didn't know that, but it seems irrelevant." Okay, $40 to the Bitcoin address. You said this was the first fee. What's the next one? Same payment method? Chris replied, "Okay, never mind the Yahoo. I will send the fill-up form here shortly. The last payment is when the funds transfer was successful. Tell me if you already sent so we can finish the transaction." I said, "Can't I pay it now?" Chris said, "It depends when we finish the funds transfer. Send $40 first, then I will process it now. Then after 2 to 3 working days, you will successfully get your funds. Then we will talk about the money." I complained, "Why are you delaying for 2 to 3 days when I could just pay the second fee now? Is it another $40 or some other amount? Please clarify." Chris caved and replied, "Okay, if you want to. The last payment is $60. You need to send exactly $100, 0.0096 Bitcoin now." I said, "Will there be any other fees after that? I'm just trying to smooth things along here. If there's any other payment later, you need to let me know about it ASAP so I can just pay it all in one sum." Chris replied, "Nothing to worry about. That's all you need to send now. Send now so we don't have to waste your time." I said, "Good. I don't know why it took this long, honestly, to answer such a simple question." Chris said, "Send the money now and I will send the form." So there we are. In the space of about 20 emails over the course of about a day, we've pushed right past the introductory waffle and we are at the point of payment. What now? We'll get to that in just a moment, after this answer to your frequently asked question about scam baiting. Today's question is, how safe is scam baiting? The answer is, there's no simple answer. Firstly, let's realise the sort of people we're dealing with here. In past cases, I've dealt with scammers who told me to send them money that I needed to feed or house children, or money that I said I needed to fund a life-saving heart operation. So we know these people would willingly cause the death of their victims. In one of my very early scam baiting sessions about 15 years ago, which you can still read about on the 419 forum, the scammers believed I was flying out to meet them in South Africa. And it's highly likely that their intention was to kidnap me and hold me ransom. So these are awful, terrible people. You wouldn't want to meet them in real life. So is it a good idea to mess with them online? To that, it's probably okay, as long as you don't ever give them any of your real life identity details, not even a little bit. So don't respond to them using an email account that bears your real name. Don't be tempted to give them any real bank account details just in case it's real. It's not real. And check that the mail service you're using doesn't provide geographic IP addresses for the sender's endpoint. Most of the major webmail services do not now provide the endpoint IP address. For extra safety, you could always use a VPN anyway. One major factor is that scammers are busy looking for their next victim. As soon as they realise you're making fun of them, they move on. They don't seem to make time for revenge, even if they had the means and the resources to do so. They just cut the conversation and they're gone. These are horrible people, and to be truthful, you should just avoid all contact with them. But given sufficient care and caution, scambaiting is, in my opinion, still probably a bit safer than crossing the road. I should say, however, that you should make your own decision about this. You should evaluate the evidence for yourself and make your own decision about what's safe for you. So where were we? Ah yes, Chris has told me the amount and the payment method and expects me to send the money now. Is this the end of the game? Not by half. However, that's the end of the sprint. Now it's time for the crawl. I said, the Bitcoin address is invalid. It wasn't, but it turns out you can just say words that simply aren't true. Chris sent me a different address. I replied, are you sure you know what you're doing? He said, yes. All you have to do now is send $100 Bitcoin. I said, only it doesn't seem like it. Chris seemed to get a bit angry now and replied, just send exactly $100 Bitcoin now to any address I sent so we can process the funds transfer as soon as you sent the money. If you don't send, we're just like wasting our time. We have to process this now or my client's account will be closed. Well, I have a rule. Respond to anger or aggression with righteous indignation. I said, I haven't been the one causing delays here. You took literally forever to answer 2 simple questions. Now you're in a hurry? This is not the sort of behaviour I expect from a finance professional. Chris backed down a bit and said, all right, the all money needed was $100. I said, understood. We'll send $100 in 2 to 3 days, as instructed. Chris replied, no, you need to send $100 now. Then I will send you form after you send now. And then after you've filled up the form, you will send it back to me. Then my workers will process the funds transfer for 2 to 3 days. We really need to process this now before my client's account will closed. I said, I thought you said only $40 was required now. He said, you told me that you want to pay all the money needed. I replied, I did say that, but I'm now thinking it might be better to wait 2 to 3 days as you originally suggested. Chris said, okay, send $40 now so I can process this. Then he said, I think you're not serious with this. I will just close my client's account. Thank you for the time. I said, so should I still send $40? He said, yes, if you want to process this now. If you're not interested, I can just close my client's bank account. I said, okay, I will send the $40 on Tuesday. Chris said, we need it now to process early. I pointed out that the bank is closed now. Chris replied, we can process it soon. Just send now, because I have things to do. I said, what things do you have to do? Are you at work right now at the bank? Chris said, not yet. I'm in my house and waiting for my clients. This is important, so if you're not interested, we will just close the bank account. If you are serious and interested, just let me know and send $40 to my Bitcoin address. Then he said, interested? I responded, yes, definitely. He said, okay, just send money now. I said, I thought you wanted Bitcoin. He replied, yes, please kindly send Bitcoin now to my Bitcoin address. I said, so what is money?
And money for nothing. Oh, money, 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 money. Money.
He said, we're just wasting our time. Just send Bitcoin so we can work onto it soon. I said, okay, I will send it on Tuesday. Chris replied, okay, thanks, but why on Tuesday? We will start to work when you sent. I said, do you have a problem with Tuesday? He replied, yes, Tuesday is fine. I asked, so we have time for the forms after all? Chris said, yes, we do, but let me clear this first. On Tuesday, you will send $40 Bitcoin, and after you send, I will send the form, okay? Chris asked, tell me what bank account you have so you can claim the money there. I ignored this and replied, why not send them now and I can begin filling them ready for Tuesday? Chris snapped and said, you know what, I'll just close my client's account. I asked, how do you imagine that will help? Chris said, at 10:34 a.m. London time, goodbye, have a good night. I said, is it night time in London where you are? Good night, I'll contact you again on Wednesday. Chris demanded, send Bitcoin now. I said, yes, I will send it on Tuesday. He replied, you told me you will send now. Okay, if you don't send now, we will stop this transaction. I will close my client's account. I asked, if you close the account, won't that make it difficult to withdraw the funds? Chris threatened, "Yes, I will close the account so we can stop this transaction and stop wasting our time. You keep wasting my time." I inquired, "Does it make you feel like maybe you should be spending your time more wisely?" Chris asked, "What do you mean?" I decided to put my cards on the table and I said, "Dear Chris, well, it's just this. It doesn't seem like you've enjoyed a great deal of job satisfaction from trying to scam me. Maybe it's time to consider a different career path, perhaps even an honest one." Chris tried a brave but futile parry. "What do you mean? Okay, I am not scamming you. I can wait Tuesday." I decided to draw it to a close, so I just said, "Chris, please seek some kind of honest employment. Any job, for example shoveling manure or cleaning sewers, is vastly more noble and honourable than what you're currently doing." And that was the end of that conversation. Quite a simple idea, but fun to execute. I hope you enjoyed watching, and thank you, Marcel. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope to see you again soon.